Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm Randall. It's good to see you guys. Good evening. Let me get this turned off for us. There we go. So welcome back again to another live stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. We're trying to do these every Tuesday between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I'll try to start right at 8 o'clock. I'll try to be prompt, kind of like I was tonight. So we did it tonight. We're on time. So good evening, everyone. Hey, Mike. Good evening. It's good to see you. Doug, welcome to the chat, man. Welcome. Welcome. It's been a little bit depressing this week, hasn't it? A little bit of cold, a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow. So hopefully everybody's dug out. I think till now, if you're not dug out, you have no intention in being dug out. It's good to see you too, Mike. Thank you. Well, I can't see you, but I'm glad you're here, buddy. Yeah, we got about 4 inches of snow up here, and so a lot of people were dealing with that. Might be a little bit more of that, a little more or less than that, depending on where you're at, elevation-wise, you know. Good evening, Bird. Buck, good evening. Good deal. So we're really just a minute into this, and we have a pretty good showing already, so that's awesome. Tonight looks like it'll be a good live stream. If this is your first time on the live stream, I really just have 2 rules. 1, interact in some way. That's like give it a thumbs up or say hi in the chat, something like that. Or number 2, you can just hang out and watch, because your viewership actually helps to push this for the algorithm. It helps the channel out a lot just by you guys showing up and watching. So thank you so much for being here. And for everybody who's contributing by interacting in some way, double thank you to you. Good evening. Fish King's Cutler is here as well. Hey, Bradley. It's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so we got snow, and we had some ice. I say had. I know there's still ice, and I know you can find ice. Ice is out there. I'm going to talk a little bit about ice fishing, but I still think we're a little bit early on the ice. I think we had some, I don't know if you guys are following some stories up there in up in Erie right now with some issues with the ice. Had a big sheet of ice that kind of broke off and was floating away, you know, a huge sheet of ice. And the issue is there's some people out there fishing whenever that happens. So if you guys haven't been following that story, that's the problem with fishing early ice, is you just got to be sure of where you're at. And even if you're sure where you're at, you could still just have something like that, because Mother Nature doesn't care whether you're sure or not. She's just going to do what she's going to do. Good evening, Mark. Mark of Only Fins is lurking as usual. I appreciate you being here, buddy. So, well, since Mark is here lurking as usual, why don't we do that? We'll jump right into this. I'm going to try and do this right at the beginning of the streams. And I'm going to do that for the simple reason that people come later. They typically only watch, like I'm watching statistics-wise, they're watching that first bit of the video. So I want to make sure if somebody in the community has something they're trying to sell, that it's premiered, even if people watch it later. So the first one up is our very own Mark of Only Fins. He's selling his Jackson Coosa HD. This is the one that I personally used for paddling and bassing. I can fully vouch for it. It's a great kayak, and you can just look it up there using the Jackson Coosa HD right there, and you'll know it's his because it's in Bellefonte. But it's a great kayak, and there's even a picture here where he's standing up on it. It's very sturdy. It's very stable. So even a big guy like myself or Mark had no problem with it. A lot of cargo space and everything. So if you're in the market for a kayak, this is a fantastic kayak. Mark did not buy this because it was anything less than the very best. So give it a shot and check it out. And then I have these 2 fishing reels. And if I'm remembering right, it's Jerry, I believe. And you'll know this is the right one. You just punch it in by doing 2 fishing reels, and he's in Lewistown, real close to me. And these are already spooled up, so these are 2 good fishing reels for trolling, and you'll be out chasing striper before you know it. And these are 2 good reels to bring in your striper. So that's it. I want to throw those in there. So if you guys have something you're selling, shoot me a link for it. Maybe send me a text. And by now you should have a text for, or you should have my my phone number by now. If you don't, it's on all my socials. Put it right into your phone. and start talking with me if you want to know what's going on with the docks or something. And I've been slow about getting a video out for you all. Just shoot me a text. I'll talk to you then. But good evening, everybody. How you doing? Any questions for me? Brad, they are nice reels. Absolutely, they are. Hey, Rick, good evening. Becca, I see you there. Would much rather be there in the snow. We have been, 100 plus days. It's interesting because this time of year, we're in the northern hemisphere. Y'all are in the southern hemisphere, which means you are actually in your summer right now. It's just amazing, isn't it? Kind of shoots that whole flat earth theory right into the trash can, doesn't it? Good evening, Rick. Yeah. Mark, I did hear about that. A couple guys did go through the ice up at Howard. They got out fine and stuff, but there was danger. If it's got ice on it, that's cold water, and so people going through the ice, it's never fun. There's a reason I'm not scheduling anything this early into the season. We need to give it a little bit more. I won't say more time, but more deep cold temperatures. In my opinion, we just haven't had them, and it really just comes down to ice depth. Most of the ice up there, I was hearing reports of 4 to 5 inches, and that was at best, which means there's going to be plenty of places on the water where there's much less than that, which is likely what those folks found. They found thinner ice, and unfortunate for them, they went swimming because of it. What a bummer. I'm going to flash my camera real quick and get a better, get it to... So there's an issue with my camera here not wanting to focus sometimes. So if you see it flash like that, that's all I'm doing. Hunter, good evening. It's good to see you. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for stopping in for this. If you haven't done it yet, do the thumbs up. And I wanted to point out that everybody is doing a great job on all the thumbs up and the sharing and, just following links and stuff on my channels. I talk about it a lot, and I hope I'm not bombarding you with it. I don't even know if you need to be told because you guys are doing such a great job. I don't know if it's because I'm mentioning it or not. The Amazon affiliates down below are doing really good. If you're not familiar, it's under every video. If you're going to shop for something on Amazon, just click on one of my links first and then go shop. And Amazon actually sends me a little commission for that. It's nearly nothing. I made about $2 last month, but it's building up and it's turning into something. And I see you guys clicking through. I'm getting a lot of people clicking on those links, so thank you for that. I see where it's going, and I like it. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so I think that's enough time. I think that's good enough for the intro, if you will, the hellos, and let's talk. So last week, of course, we had the ice and the snow and stuff. That was yesterday's news. As much as it was a big deal, it's behind us. The docks are going to be open. You guys know by now we have salt buckets set up down there. Thank you again to Buck. He's in the chat tonight. He put those buckets together for us. And so we have salt at the docks, but we're not going to need them this week. This week temperatures are going to get up. We're going to get some rain. The snow you guys are seeing right now, most of it is probably going to be gone before Friday. So Friday is the one day this week that if you're trying to get out on Raystown, that's probably the day to shoot for. A couple days here leading up to it, we're probably going to have some conditions, a little bit of rain and stuff, but a little bit uncomfortable out there. So if you have a roof, so a bimini or something like that, you'll probably be fine. You'll probably want to bring the heater. But the docks are open, and Friday is the day right now that I'm keeping an eye on. Very low chance of rain. So Friday would be the day to shoot for if you're trying to get out on the water this time of year. It's a good day for it. I think you're going to be looking at low 50s. So it's going to be into the 50s, and and that's very manageable. Matthew Joseph Collar, good evening. Hello from Herndon. Very good. Thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. Cheers. So the docks are open. They're doing good. And I kind of bombarded you guys with some dock updates over the last week. Nobody complained, so I appreciate that. I was pushing to do two things, which I was about to talk about, was the luncheon. I wanted to make sure everybody knew we were having the luncheon, which went really good. And number two, with the ice, I wanted to make sure those buckets of salt, that the word of that got out as well. So those two big things happened. Now, the luncheon, guys, I'm thinking we're going to do this every year. It was completely different than any of the other things that I do, that I'm involved with here. And as far as I know, there's not a sportsman's luncheon for the Lewistown community. I don't think it exists. So although this year's was relatively humble in attendance, we had, I think if I'm remembering right, we had 17 people show up this past Saturday at Donna's, and we just hung out. We had some great food because they cooked it up for us there, and I talked for a little bit, and we just hung out, talked fishing. But I think we're going to continue to do that moving forward. I'm going to try and do a little bit better job setting that up. There was a couple things that I had, a couple ideas that I had that I didn't get to follow through with. I think just because I didn't organize it ahead of time. You know what I mean? I was organizing it about 2 weeks out, and it's just not enough time to really get people involved in any kind of what I want to say, professional involvement. So it was just some guys hanging out, just some fishermen chewing the cud, as they say. Hunter, you said the wife and you are going out Saturday. All right. Yeah, there's a little chance on Saturday, but there's a lot of days between now and Saturday. Things could change. So right now it is saying it's going to be a little bit damp, but there's a few days between now and Saturday. So the Friday right now that's saying that's going to be the drier day to search for, that might just shuffle a little bit to be on Saturday. So it might work out in your favor, but we'll keep an eye on it. But that's the gap of time we're looking at, Friday. And right now it looks like Friday, but maybe Saturday. We'll see. Well, good luck. I'll root for you because I don't have a dog in that fight. So I'll root for Saturday. Wyatt, no, I will not make it. I will not. No, I've gone to it before. I've gone to it less and less over the years. To me, it has just changed a lot. So I've just pulled back. And when my kids were real little, I liked to take them, and we would do we go into and watch the Bulls and stuff like that. We watched the Cowboys doing their thing. But as they got older, we did it less and less. And it's not that it's bad or anything. I just feel like I've done it. I feel like I've done it, and I've done it a lot. So I'm just kind of pulling away from it a little bit. But at the luncheon, yeah, good. Definitely keep the rain gear. Absolutely. Keep the rain off of your body and you should be fine. If you have a roof, even better. If you have a heater, bring it. But if you got to wear a rain suit just to keep the rain off your body, even better. But do wear the life vest. Even though the air temperature is going to be a little warmer, the water temperature isn't going to change much at all, if any. It's just a little bit, and it's going to be a shock to your system if you should go in. Just don't go in the water. But wear the vest. It's a good time of year to do that. It's a good time of year to have discipline and, wear the vest. But at the luncheon, two things. Want to say thanks, first of all, because all my lures sold except for one set at the luncheon. So I did good getting rid of the inventory that I had, and I have one set left. If anybody wants it, you can use randallrydes.com. Let me do this since I brought that up. My randallrydes.com page is all updated as well. If you go to it, it's just randallrydes.com, and you can go to my Fishin page, and this is where there's the jig there that I just mentioned. But ride-along tickets and everything. I'm going to have to add one to this for the ice fishing trip. So keep an eye out for that. It'll just be another tab on the page. But I've been getting a lot of traffic. I've been following the algorithm for randallrydes.com, and we had a fantastic year as far as people clicking on and going to my website. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. If you wanted to follow anything at all, Randall, it's all at randallrydes.com. And that's whether it's the music side or the fishing side, it's all there. So you guys can find me. You can track me down. If the socials all get shut down, because they did it before, don't think they can't. If it all gets shut down, I own my website, so that's next tier. I mean, they could certainly shut it down too, but unless I do some major evil, I don't think they will. I'm just a little guy. They don't care about me. I didn't go up the Sayers, Wyatt. I didn't go up and measure the ice, but what we're hearing is you have 4 inches of ice. And then we also heard about somebody going through the ice. So they found thinner ice probably than 4 inches. So it just, we didn't get the deep freeze that you really need for thick ice. We just didn't get it. The temperature was low enough, but it just wasn't prolonged long enough. So this week, I don't think the ice is going to make it through this warm-up that we got. You're going to see a lot of patchy ice, even thin ice. It might even just melt up. But we're not at spring yet. February is the month that you look for. February is usually the cold month that you can kind of anticipate ice. That's not always true. You know, sometimes you just don't get ice and you can't do it. But that's where my eyes are set on, is Foster Sayers in February. So Fishin' Foster Sayers in February. We're probably going to do a little what we call the Ice Jam, and that was thrown out there by Mark of Only Fins. So thanks, man. It's a great name for an ice fishing event. It'll be Fishin' Foster's in February. And so it's a Fishin' Foster's Ice Jam, I think is what I figured I'd call it. But anyways, I'm looking at February for that, and the moment the ice is thick enough and we can put a group together, we'll go. It's going to be very low-key and very family-friendly, so if you have children and you want to take them out and just catch some fish through the ice, that's what this is going to be about. It's going to be about getting families out there, especially the kids. This is a very kid-friendly event, ice fishing, and I'm rooting for them. We're gonna get some kids on the ice catching some fish, and I think it'll be a blast. And I think they'll have a great time too. I'm gonna put the tent up and have a heat hut, just somewhere they can stay warm and still be catching fish. It's gonna be great. I have visions of just smiles all day long. It's gonna be good. But very kid-oriented is what I'm thinking. But I'm looking at February. We need to definitely get some thick ice, though. I don't want to take them out there when there's thin ice. Nick, good evening. Yo, stranger. I haven't talked to you in a while, huh? Yeah, it'll be going. Yeah, I'm afraid the ice is going to be going next week, man. Unfortunately, you'll have to take out the boat and do some fishing for us. So it's not all bad, right? It's not all bad. So at the luncheon, not only did I sell the lures, but I got some really good ideas. This is what was different about the luncheon, is because it was very intimate. We were just sitting at tables across from each other, is we got to really talk. And I had a lot of questions because it was my first year doing the chartering thing and doing these events and the live stream and just figuring out how it all fits together. And there was just a lot of things that didn't work. First year doing it, that's normal. And I had a lot of conversation with people, and I was like, but next year we want to change our focus a little bit so that it's more in alignment with what the Raystown community wants. And the number one thing that I will say was the kids. Family oriented is what the people going to Raystown want. So I'm going to do my best to make my fishing trips, my charters, very family oriented. And that was a great conversation we had, and we had a bunch of cool ideas on how to focus that effort. And so I'm going to build on that moving forward. But all that just to point out that the Sportsman's Luncheon, I think it needs to be an annual event. So if I have any say in it, we will do it every single year. So keep an eye out for it. We'll do it around this time each year. And, around January or something. That works with my business schedule as well. It's good because I have this down period where I do, budgeting and taxes and stuff. And that's a good time to throw an event like that in because it's more mellow this time of year. A little more flexibility, if you will. Whew. It was a great event. I'm still kind of a little charged from it. And to everybody who participated in that and came out, thank you so much. It's been just wonderful. And I might as well just remind you again, because there's a few new people in the chat right now. We have salt now. Salt buckets at three of the major the three major docks that I would call the winter docks, which is Snyder's, 7 points, and James Creek. Those 3 docks, Snyder's, 7 points, and James Creek, have a bucket of salt there, and that's for the community to use. So if you're down there and it's slick, make sure you put some salt out. If you're down there and you have salt and you notice it's low, add some salt to it if you would. Let's keep these buckets out there, and that'll just become part of the community pool of salt that we can pull from when we need to and replenish whenever we come down when you get a chance. And if you use the last of the salt, don't feel bad. The next 5 guys that come in line, they'll be able to use it too. So it's not just you. But let's be safe at the dock. Don't be dunking your rig. Don't put your vehicle down in the water. Let's use the salt. It's there for us to use. Those 3 docks are what I would call the winter docks. That's where I'm recommending to go. Rick, you said you had a good time at the luncheon? There's no way anybody had more fun than this guy. It was such a good time, and it was just an intimate little get-together. It was easy conversation, and it was just good to kind of get together with folks. I feel like the people who are coming to the events are the core of this. It kind of gives you a snapshot or an image, if you will, a picture of what the fishing community is at Raystown Lake. And so it's cool to be able to sit down when they're not busy fishing, and you're just sitting down and you're going to eat a meal together and you talk and you learn a lot. And if you're paying attention, like we had some children there, which was great. We had families, and then we had we had one family who was ice fishing in the morning, came to the luncheon, and then in the afternoon went ice fishing again. How awesome is that? And anytime you can eat a meal with one another, it's a good reason to get together. Will any ice melt do to refill the buckets, or do you prefer a certain type? That's a good question. I mean, I don't have any preference. I would say if it's, normal salt is just what I would recommend. Just rock salt. Why don't we try to keep it rock salt just so there's no dyes or chemicals? We'll just make it rock salt. I don't think salt is a problem, with the lake because there's such a volume of water. It's diluted. It's just every bait tank that's on the lake has salt in it just to keep the minnows and stuff alive, and that stuff's going in the water. So I think rock salt is fine. Let's try to keep it as rock salt. Basically, if it's just friendly, you can use it. But use your own judgment on that. So we're looking this week to have some rain, and then Friday should be the day if you're going to try and get out and float a boat. Friday's probably the day to do that. However, lake is open, yes. Absolutely it is open. Snyder's had a little bit of, it was a little clogged up at the dock. There were some tree branches and some leaves and such, and the ice was encroached just right there at the dock. But after today, tomorrow even, that all the ice should be open. If you're going down like tomorrow, you might run into some skim ice. I don't think it'll stop you from putting your boat in now. I see, Hunter. Well, yeah, thank you for asking. I'm not sure about the blue salt, so that was a good question to ask. You get us all thinking about it. Yeah, just as long as you believe that it's relatively, no less chemicals, and I think you're always safe with rock salt. But yeah, the weather's going to change, guys. It's just not going to stick around. The warm-up that we're getting now is going to take care of the salt and the ice. It's going to thin out the ice. It's going to make the ice unsafe. So with a little bit of luck here in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll get a deep cold, and then we'll be able to talk about ice fishing. So we're really hoping to be able to catch it here in February, but we'll see. Keep your fingers crossed. Hey, if nothing else, you got this little warm-up. If you got to do an oil change in the boat, you got to do some outside work, something you've been putting off, you have a few days here where your fingers won't be cramped up from the cold. You can get out and accomplish some of that. It's always a silver lining, right? So I'm going to take you back to my randallrydes.com page. This is a really simple one, but I've already been starting to get questions about Lake Erie. Lake Erie is something that I do every year, usually around July and August. I'm thinking I might do some trips in June as well. So June, July, August is probably what I'm looking at. But that's listed right there in the description. It says usually in July and August. It says that right there. But I'm only pointing this out because people are asking me about Lake Erie already. If you're thinking about going to Lake Erie and you want to purchase a spot to lock it in, you are welcome to do that. You can purchase these ahead of time. What I'm going to do is people who purchase early, they'll get first choice of the days. So because that lake gets angry, you got to be thinking like a window of opportunity, okay? But I'll talk to you about that. So if you end up purchasing a Lake Erie fishing trip, I will be talking to you directly. We'll work out the dates, and you can look at my calendar, but usually it's July and August. And if you want to look for more detail, you just go up here to the calendar. Oh, I thought I clicked on it. There it goes. And there's January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And you see July is wide open. And then August is wide open. The reason for that is because those are my Lake Erie months. I knew that I'd be back home. Now, June, you see late in June, I'll get back. I plan on being up in New Hampshire through the 15th. Probably get home sometime during this week, the week of the 16th here sometime. So the last week of June, I'll possibly be able to go out, but I'm not ready to commit to that just yet. You know what I mean? But I'm only saying that if you guys were to go and if you were to get a ticket for Lake Erie to buy ahead of time, just know that it's kind of like first come, first serve. Whoever purchased tickets first will get first choice of the days, and then I'll work the calendar around them. And I'm only putting that out there because there's some folks asking about Erie already. The truth is Erie gets booked up fast. It can be very expensive to fish Erie, but I've also got a way around that for you as well. My idea is that to help with lodging. So if you're coming up to Erie, and say that we figure it's going to be like on a Friday and Saturday, that you're going to try and keep a little window open, either Friday or Saturday, as long as the weather and the water is permitting, we'll go fishing, and then we'll be talking about it. Well, you can come up and you can stay at the campground. I'm going to have my cottage set up, right? So it's comfort, and that way you don't have to worry about lodging. It's just an option. You can go stay at a hotel if you want to, but if you want to save some money and just stay at the campground with me, there's no fee for that. So you can just stay at my canvas tent cottage, and we can hang out and talk fish. We'll do fishing stories while we're just hanging out and such. But that's just something to kind of help you save a couple $100 just in lodging to make it more possible for folks to go. I want you to be able to go on these epic fishing trips. And I know a lot of you are out there that would love to go to Lake Erie this year and just bring home a bag of walleye for the freezer. Let's do it. Let's work it out. Start talking to me. Shoot me a text. And if you're ready to commit, do purchase of the Lake Erie fishing charter. But first person to purchase is who gets the first choice of dates. So there it is. Nick, you say you're fishing the river tomorrow. Very good, man. Good luck. Good luck. I imagine. Big smallmouth this time of year, I imagine. I wouldn't mind to be out there. I wouldn't mind to be on the water, on the river. I would not want to be out on the kayak, though. No kayak fishing. No kayak fishing the river this time of year. Good news, guys. I got through all my notes, which means I have nothing left to cover. The rest of the stream's going to be boring. So good evening. If you guys have something to talk to me about, do the thumbs up for me. Check the sub. But shoot some questions at me if you have anything on your mind. If you guys are watching the live, or not the live stream, if you guys are watching the dock updates and you notice that I'm stopping at certain docks and I don't seem to be hitting the one that you're most interested in, just send me a message, guys, because I'm down there frequently enough. I'll work it into the rounds. I do the checks that I do because I get feedback from people regularly. And these are the places that I regularly hear that they want to hear from. So if you want to shoot me a message and say, hey, next time when you get a chance, I want to know what XYZ dock looks like. So I'm down there, I'll shoot over, and I'll add that to the routine. You know what I mean? That's right. Mark's he's reiterating here. Yes, when we go to Lake Erie, it is a harvest trip. We bring walleye home. We had I had a lot of great trips up. I had a couple YouTubers on the boat up there, and wow, just some epic fishing adventures. It's difficult to film Lake Erie, and that's two things. One, the water is angry, the lake is angry, and it's pitching and tossing. It makes everything a little chaotic. But two, you're catching so much. The rod is just bent continuously. So to get the camera out and try to film it, you're doing a lot of catching, and it's intense. Usually the blocks of time that you can go out are kind of narrow because of the waves and the water and the wind. And so you go out during that time, and it's kind of frantic. You try to get the job done on the little bit of window of time you got. So the filming isn't the best. It's not the most comfortable boat ride. Not on some days. It can be downright rough. But once in a while, man, I've been there. Lake Erie just lays down. Have you been there for that? It's a beautiful thing. When Lake Erie just lays down and goes to sleep, and you can go on plane and run out there, you know, it's just nice. When the waves aren't crushing you so hard that you kind of got to like just motor along, just riding over these waves at, you know, half throttle, not on plane. It's great when it lays down and you can just full plane, full send, and just shoot out there. You're out there in 10, 15 minutes and you're fishing. Oh, it's just, Lake Erie is, it's a special place, guys. If you haven't been there yet, please let me be the guide. I will take you out there. We'll put you on some fish. We'll do a little bit of rod and hand fishing. We'll do a little bit of trolling fishing. I think when Mark was up there, we had a mixed bag. I think we had 5 different species we caught. Well, we had, Mark, help me out. We had, of course, we caught our walleye, but we caught sheep's head. We caught white perch, white bass, yellow perch. And I feel really good about saying I'm pretty sure that we had a steelhead on as well, but it came off. Am I forgetting one, Mark? Am I forgetting one? I think that's it. So in the ice box, we had 5 species. It was a fantastic bag of fish and a great fishing trip. Yeah, Mark and I had a great fishing trip up at Erie. I think that's all of them right there. Yep. All right. And Nick, you said let me know in the next couple weeks when I'm free to come down to you. So you talking about going to the Susquehanna? I'll make some time to come down and fish the Susquehanna with you, buddy. That would be good. I wouldn't mind that at all. All right. All right. I'll let you know when I'm free. What questions you guys have for me? Let me see some dock names. What dock names? Throw some up in the chat. Which docks do you like to hear do you like to see the dock updates on? The dock updates are by far my number one video that you guys watch the series, and it feels like I could do. There's no amount of them that I could do. That would wear you out. It's like the more we see of the dock, the better. It's like, you know, it's interesting even to me. I'm a little nerd like that. I kind of watch my own videos. If you're a YouTuber at all, you understand what I'm saying. We tend to watch our videos back. We learn from it, you know. Matt, we didn't eat that sheep's head. Are you kidding me? Sheep's head, Wyatt. It's a big, you know, it's a sheep's head. It's a fish. It's a kind of fish. It's very unique. So do a search and just look up Lake Erie sheep's head. They get huge. Think of like a carp, but it doesn't have scales. You just like, he's got skin. Think of like a carp with skin like a catfish. Something like that. But do a search and you'll find it's kind of gray in color, real pale skin, and heck of a fight. A fantastic fighter. A lot of fun to fight. James Creek, Snyder's, yep. And Hunter, I think James Creek is overdue, isn't it? I haven't been to James Creek in a little bit. I wanted to go down to catch Weaver Falls, though, a few weeks ago. I didn't want to pass up the opportunity because I was down that way. So I grabbed the Weaver Falls. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I think I did the right thing. But I think Weaver probably got closed up with ice. Probably. That's something I'll really start to keep an eye on when the docks do get closed up, when they get choked out with ice. I'll find one that's open if it exists. The chances are, though, if one is closed up with ice, the others are closed up as well. I think the last one to get froze over is going to be Snyder's. So if I go to Snyder's and it's iced over, I'm probably going to assume that the others are. I think that sounds right. 7 points? I don't know. Maybe we'll learn something this year. But up to that point, we have salt at the docks now. So Snyder's, 7 points, and James Creek has a bucket of salt to make sure you can get in and out of the water without sliding down the ramp. And if you guys are just tuning in just now, if you go to the dock, you'll see it. It's a bucket and it says rock salt on it. Feel free to use that. That's a community bucket of salt, and everybody feel free to replenish it as well. We're going to leave it right there, and we're just going to keep it there so that we're safe. No winter swimming. No winter swimming. I love the idea of me, Mark, and Nick going fishing on the Susk. That sounds great. Susky musky. I like it. We might be able to get into some walleye if we go up north enough. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for this live stream, guys. It's been a really good one. I really appreciate it. These live streams are doing really well. Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I'm trying to stick to my time, and it seems to be working out for everybody. And you guys are participating, asking good questions, so thank you. Appreciate it, man. It's really working out across the board. It's really good. The affiliate links down in the description. If you are doing any shopping on Amazon, click on one of my affiliate links, and it'll take you to Amazon, and you can do all your shopping. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, and then Amazon sends me a commission. So thank you for the folks who've been doing that. I'm starting to actually earn a couple bucks from it. I can factually say that as my Amazon affiliates starts to pay me, I am making more from that than YouTube. So my fishing channel on YouTube is not monetized. So all the fishing videos, all this content you see, I am getting paid nothing for it. So anything like that, you guys can contribute to try and help me out, keep this thing funded so I can keep it going. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Hunter says he stopped by James Creek today. The boat ramp was still snow covered and ice past the dock. All right. Very good. Good dock update. Appreciate that. That's good. Nick, how do you catch a Laker? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm clueless. Wyatt, you have a river lot on the Susky. No kidding. Wow, that's awesome. That's great. That's just paradise. And a lot of folks, I don't know if you've noticed this trend, a lot of people have property like along the river, like camp property or back in the mountain camp property. And financially, they can't keep two properties. So they've been selling their residential property and moving to the camp. This has been an ongoing trend now in American society. It's kind of curious because where do you actually want to live if you have to live small? It's not going to be those residential properties. It's going to be out near the water, back in the mountains. Yeah, sounds good to me too. Absolutely. And having a river lot on the Susquehanna, well, that's just, for a lot of folks, that's preferable, is what I'm saying. That's the preference. They would rather live along the Susk than live out in some cul-de-sac in the middle of town, you know? So that's cool. That's cool to hear. I'm glad for you. Sounds like a great place. So there's a couple things that I'll share this with you. These are just thoughts that have come to fruition over the year. Things going good and things going bad through the year. My direction and my ideas, they're kind of blossoming. And I'm just going to do little teasers with you to let you know what's coming for Randall Rydes Fishing Charter. I'll focus on 3 things. First of all, I already kind of touched on it, and it's the family-friendly aspect of Randall Rydes Fishing Charter. The family-friendly aspect has to fit because the mission statement of my charter is 2 words: everyone catches. Everyone includes everybody in the family, young and old. Whether they have mobility or they have limited mobility, everyone means everyone. Whether you come on a charter with me or you only learn how to fish from YouTube, you are included in everyone. So everyone catches. Doesn't mean you're always going to catch, but it does mean it's always going to be the goal. So 3 things. It's going to be family oriented this year. And there's 2 major things that are going to change that are in the pipeline, things that are coming to Raystown Lake that is unlike what has been there before. Number 1 is going to be the Perch Pirate Revenge. And you guys, some of you have heard me talking about the Perch Pirate Revenge. Now, Lake Erie has what's called the Perch Pirate. And you can go out on the lake and they catch perch, obviously. At Raystown Lake, we have perch as well. Yellow perch, white perch, we have them both. And we go fishing for them. And it's some of the funnest chartering that I've ever been on is when we go on perch trips. So I have the idea of the Perch Pirate Revenge because the perch are notorious for eating our striper fingerlings. And so we're going to go out and we're going to catch the perch. If they're going to eat our striper fingerlings, we're going to eat them. This is a harvest trip. So we're going to harvest white and yellow perch at Raystown Lake. We're going to call it the Perch Pirate Revenge, and it is going to probably be a different vessel. And this is going to be something that you can get the whole family involved in. This is a high catch trip, and it's a harvest trip as well. So the Perch Pirate Revenge is soon coming to Raystown Lake, courtesy of Randall Rydes Fishing Charter. So that's first and foremost. A river lot. So you definitely envy the river lot. I'm guessing that's what you're saying there, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So I do have a second idea, and I don't want to talk about it just yet. But how about you guys? Are you guys thinking about making the lake this week? Maybe on Friday? You going to try and get out? If you do go down to the lake this Friday, I'm probably going to recommend you go to Snyder's. And Friday is, right now, as far as the weather looks, Friday is the day to shoot for. Perch is fantastic eating. And whether it's yellow perch or white perch, a little bit of breading, drop it in the skillet with a little oil. It's perfect. Buck, good deal. You're shooting for Friday. All right. All right. Bird, good idea. You guys are on top of it then. Right on. Yeah, it's been a good chat tonight, guys. I don't mind if we wrap it up a little bit early, but do you guys have any questions for me before we cut out? We'll stay on for another like 5 minutes, something like that. Not to rush anybody, but if there's something on your mind, please shoot it at me. The educational side of what I'm doing here is something that I'm hesitant to do, and that was one of the major ideas that was thrown at me of doing like a learn to fish Lewistown Lake kind of course, even to where you'd like it'd be like a 1-day course. You know, you come up and do the morning, take a break for lunch, and then do the afternoon, something like that. And I like the idea of that. The truth is, though, I just don't think I'm confident in my. I don't think I'm the authority on the subject. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'm there yet. That might be something for years down the way. Years down the way. After I've chartered for 10 years, and I feel very confident that I have some information that's solid, really solid, and I have some facts to back it up. At that point, I'll start sharing that stuff. But it takes time. It takes time, and I know none of us like that. I'm just like you. I like it just as much. It's not fun. It just takes time. You got to go get your head busted a little bit to learn it. Stubborn, Mike. I don't know. What are the dates for stubborn? I guess I could look it up. Let me look it up here and see what it is. So we're looking at June 20th. Is that right? June 20th. And I'm going to look at my calendar here too. Yeah, so if stubborn is on June 20th, I don't have anything, Mike. I don't have anything scheduled for it. So nothing that would be over top of stubborn yet. But I got to be honest, if I can take people up to Erie and fish, I mean, it's so lucrative for the business, I'd probably have to. That being said, if it's just crummy weather up at Erie, if the lake is angry, I have no reason to sit up there and twiddle my thumbs. I'll hop on the Harley and go for a ride. It's really not too tough for me to get down to Oklahoma. It's nothing but a ride. So it's not off the table. I'm a little bit more responsible now, Mike. See, I'm thinking about business a little bit. One of these days. The perch pirate, we need to slow the population. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the idea, I think. So why there's a lot of perch. There's so many perch. And they really decimate our stocking program with the striped bass, which is why the perch pirate revenge. Yeah, so I had the idea of hoisting a Jolly Roger flag and everything and making it a whole like family-friendly kind of thing for kids. The kids love going perch fishing, and I had a lot of kids on the boat last year. The only thing that would have made it better if there was more kids, you know? More family involvement, more families out bending rods together. It's just the best day out. It really is. And I loved it. It was the most fun we had, and I really think it needs to be a part of every charter on the lake. But I'm certainly I'm taking it to heart, man. No, they don't. No tournaments for perch. Well, the Striped Bass Association does do a perch fishing tournament, but overall, I would say you're right. There's no real push for it. There's no major push for perch. A lot of folks just look past it, I think, because we have the power species on the lakes. When you're talking about striped bass, lake trout, largemouth and smallmouth bass, you know, and we're starting to see more and more muskie fishermen as well, because our lake holds some monster muskie. So, you know, it just gets their attention. It draws their attention away from perch. Well, Bird, you're talking to the right guy. Whenever it's perch season, I'll tell you where they're at. You just send me a text, and you can either come out and fish with me, or I'll get you on them. You're talking to the right guy. So do me a favor here at the end of the stream. Do check to see if you guys did the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up and the sub as well. The sub count has actually plateaued. The sub count came up pretty solid there, and it's been hanging out. So double check to see if you are subbed. If you come back and you watch my videos all the time, I would really appreciate it if you would just click the sub. It doesn't cost anything, but it makes a big difference especially getting YouTube to monetize my channel. So thank you if you would do that. But we're going to kind of wrap this up here at the end of the stream, and I just want to thank you guys for stopping in for it. And I'm going to take some notes between now and next week, and when we have this little warm-up period. If you guys have any questions or anything, just write them in the comments or shoot me a text, and I'll try to build something really specific for the chat next week. And yeah, so Hunter, the bank fishing thing is the other family-oriented event thing that I was going to be talking about. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't have dates or anything. But yes, we're going to bring back the public, family-invited bank angling event, and that is definitely going to be part of Randall Rydes Fishing Charter. So more on that whenever we get closer to it. But directly in front of us here for February is ice fishing at Foster's. And we're just going to call it Fishin' Foster's Sayers Ice Jam. Or Fishin' Foster's Ice Jam. Something like that. I'll come up with a cool way to say that, but that's the idea. I like the idea of calling it an ice jam for the kids. I think the kids would like that. It's a good kid name, But that's what our eyes are set firmly on Foster Sayers right now. So if you don't know where it is at, it's up by State College. It's very easy to get to. It doesn't take too much longer than to go into Raystown for most of us. But if you need help finding it, by all means, you can shoot me a text or you can just Google Maps it, But it's a great lake, and they draw the water down this time of year. So all the water is down on one side of the lake. And what that means is all the fish get kind of condensed, and they're all in that one side of the lake. And it was already easy to catch fish at this lake. You can watch some of my videos on it. It's pretty easy to catch there. And then when they condense them, it makes it even more so. So we're going to drill some holes in the ice, and we're going to let the kids catch some fish out of it, and not just the kids. It's a lot of fun for all of us. So Fishin' Foster's Ice Jam. That's what we're looking at. Fishin' Foster Sayers Ice Jam. That'll probably be the name. Fishin' Foster Sayers Ice Jam. But family-oriented events all year long, and coming to you from yours truly here at Randall Rydes Fishing Charter. But I'm going to let that be the end of the live stream. I feel like we're capping it up there. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in tonight. As always, you're awesome. All the feedback and the interaction in the chat has been great. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the support. That's it. Hey, guys, much love and much respect. I'll see you in a couple days, all right? See you guys.